Hi guys, welcome back to the new JMTW YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing my Premier League predictions with Fortnite gameplay in the background to excite you all. But if you want me to do any predictions, storytelling, or just talking whilst with gameplay, can we please get, how many likes should we say? 7 likes? Yeah, go on, 7 likes, and I will do something again. And please put in the comments any other video ideas. It can be anything, because I want to know what you guys think of good ideas. So I will start my Premier League predictions now. So in 20th place, it's very obvious. Very obvious. Probably half of the population would put this in 20th. And 20th place goes to, drum roll please, Luton Town. The reason why I think Luton Town will finish bottom is because they haven't won a game so far in the Premier League, and it's been around 3 to 4 matches, and they've never looked good. And I thought at the beginning, when they got promoted, they would be like a Wolves, Leeds, like clubs who come third and then somehow survive. But the thing is, they bought championship fodder. No one good at all. They're not. Their defense isn't good. Their goalie is Tim Krul, and he's around 55. And then you got their midfield Ross Barkley, who's also 55. And then you only got their striker, I think his name's called Morris. He's alright, but he can't carry a whole team, can he? So that's why I think Luton Town will finish bottom, as they don't have the resources compared to bigger teams who they're fighting with. For example, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, even teams like Everton to an extent. Sorry Luton fans, if any of you are actually watching my video. I hope not, fingers crossed. Now, in 19th place. Who is 19th place, JMTW? I wonder. And it's a team who I can't watch. They annoy me playing football, because I watched them play against Tottenham, and it was so boring, and it was so annoying, and just frustrate the living daylights out of me. And it is Sheffield United are in 19th. So the reason why I think Sheffield United are in 19th, one is because if they didn't get promoted, they would have been in serious debt. Serious debt, so much. And if that was the case, they may not even be a team anymore. They'd probably be like Bury FC, playing in the 7th League division. So them getting promoted was the best thing, but the worst thing to ever happen to them, because you just know they're going to get relegated. And their first couple matches, they got a point against Everton, but if you watch that match, I swear it weren't exciting at all. Well, it didn't sound exciting. And Sheffield United only rely on a player called Hammer, and he's their top goal scorer, and he's a midfielder. And they're just playing part of the bus football. They're playing like Jose Mourinho, but with such a worse team. They're playing 9 at the back, 1 goalkeeper and 1 attacker. And it's just so frustrating. Who would want to watch that? 1 shot, 1 goal. Yeah, a bit boring. So now in 18th. This is going to shock a few of you, because they actually played alright football, but they just can't score. If you can't score, you can't get points, and then after you can't get points, you go down to the Championship. And this team is Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think, will get relegated, and I think they will be like that Leicester City side who went down. But they sold Ruben Neves, Joel Moutinho, and they haven't really brought anyone in to replace them. Gary O'Neill came in, who just about kept Bornemouth up. Yes, Gary O'Neill is a great manager, but with this Wolves side, you don't know what's going to happen. Look at Brendan Rodgers. He was Leicester manager, and look what happened to him. Because I don't see Wolves coming over 15th or higher. If they do, dogs can talk. 17th position. And this is where most people would put this team, in my opinion, or all of the YouTubers are saying, yes, this place, this place, this place, or just the one below. And this is Everton Football Club. So yeah, Everton has signed some good players. They signed Danjuma. They signed that striker from the Italian league, or Serie A league, like they call it, Beto. I think he scored 1 goal in his debut, so he's probably going to do well. But it just, Everton looks poor so far, and I like Everton as a football club, and I want them to stay up. So I hope my prediction's right, but to 16th place, I've got Fulham. The reason why I got Fulham a lot lower than higher is because Mitrovic wanted to leave. I don't even know if he's still at the club or not. You got Paulinho, who went and done all his Bayern Munich press, and then Fulham said, sorry mate, you've done all that. You probably even signed the contracts, and we need to take you back to Craven Cottage as we couldn't find a replacement. So that's going to make the dressing room and the morale really bad. 15th. So 15th I got Bournemouth. And the reason why I got Bournemouth there is because their manager was, Rayo Valencia, I think. It's a Spanish club, and he was really good at pressing. They've signed Justin Kluivert. Justin Kluivert, and he was the son of Patrick Kluivert. And a really good striker for Barcelona. That's the only one I know, to be fair. Bournemouth, I think, would have a good pressing team, and it could help in their performances, even though they had a little bumpy start, like losing to Tottenham, but they did get that point against Chelsea, what would help them so much to stay out of the relegation zone. 14th place, I got Burnley Football Club. The reason why I got Vincent Kompany's side in 14th instead of 10th or 9th, they had hard fixtures. They had City, where they lost, Villa, where they lost, and Tottenham, where they lost. And the Man City game, they did play some good football. I was watching that, and they were playing some beautiful football. It was like watching prime Barcelona and prime Real Madrid put together. Vincent Kompany, I think, will do a good job, but it may take time, as those players, some of them aren't Premier League level to do what Vincent Kompany's side want. 13th. This may shock a few people. Crystal Palace in 13th. I think Crystal Palace will just have an average season, like they always do. Roy Hodgson will probably be his last season, and then he's going to retire and have a nice life. And you've got Elise, who's still going to be a good baller. You've got Eze, who's a good player too. Even though they lost Zaha, I don't think it will hurt them as much because it's Crystal Palace. They always consistent with getting the 40 points mark. 12th place, this is what gonna shock a few, and then there may be riots saying, JMTW, why are you putting this team in 12th? Just why? It's stupid. And that team is Nottingham Forest. The reason why I got Nottingham Forest in 12th place instead of lower is because have you seen their signings? They've signed that PSV player who was playing Champions League football last season and actually scoring goals. You've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, Anthony Elanga, Cooper. Their manager is actually a really good manager. I rate him because he gets points against the bigger teams. He plays well, and I'm surprised how well Forest are doing. And they beat Chelsea. They nearly beat United. They were 2-0 up in the first 5 minutes and then they bottled it. But still, being 2-0 up against United in 5 minutes, I think at Old Trafford, that's insane. That's unheard of. And in 11th, the team I despise, West Ham United. The reason why I think West Ham would be around 11th, maybe a little bit lower, but not higher, is because of Europa League football, because they don't have the squad depth like your Liverpools, your Cities. Even your Aston Villa, they have Antonio, who's up top, and he's been playing striker for them for ages. That would be a really, really, really long time. Feels like 20 years since he didn't play for West Ham. Now into 10th place. You guys may be wondering, where's Chelsea? And I think Chelsea won't do well this season. But for some weird reason, I do not have them in 10th. I have Brentford. And the reason why I have Brentford in 10th is because Brentford are a good team who are solid and who will get the job done. But the thing is, because of Ivan Toney, I think they may lack a little bit more goals, even though they always find a way to do well without him. I think they will lose more games away than at home, as their home form is brilliant. So I think the away form will hurt them. But Thomas Frank is a good manager, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get Europa Conference League football compared to your Chelsea's, Brightons, Villas, because they don't have Europa League football or Europa League Conference, so that could help them. Now in 9th place, the team we've all been waiting for, Pochettino's side, Chelsea FC. The reason why I got Chelsea in 9th is because £1 billion spent and they can't gel. Chelsea. Todd Bowley, why spend £1 billion on players? Why can't you just build a team? Chelsea is going to be a 9th or even lower. I can guarantee you that 110%. Almost anyone can predict that, as Chelsea always recently can't even win against the smaller teams. Like they drew 0-0 to Bornemouth. They did beat Luton though, fair play, but anyone can beat Luton. Even a Sunday League team could on their day. So now in 8th place, I've got Brighton Football Club. The reason why I put Brighton in 8th is because Europa League football. Because Brighton right now are playing brilliant football, playing nice attackingly, and yeah, it's so good to watch Brighton play. And their manager I rate a lot, and you always find a way to find these young gems like Evan Ferguson, Matoma, Saicedo when he was at Brighton. But I think Europa League football, they're in a group of death, so they may get to Europa Conference League football and then they probably get some injuries. And in Europa Conference League position, I've got Aston Villa again. But I think Aston Villa will have a good season, but they won't get Europa League because they're going to be so focused on Europa Conference League football. I think they will win the Europa Conference League and they will get Europa League, and then Brighton will get Europa Conference League football, and that's what I'm thinking. Plus they've signed Longley, they've signed Diaby, they've signed some good players, and Pau Torres, who was playing Champions League football last season. In 6th place, I got Newcastle, and the reason why I got Newcastle in 6th is because I think they will go through the Champions League group stage in that group of death, but I think Champions League will just tire them out. Not looked great in the league, but I think they will just do well because they have Isaac and Callum Wilson and Tonali, 3 really good players, and Trippier and Pope. Defence isn't that strong to play Champions League football and the league, and it's going to ruin them. And now I got United in 5th. I think Erik ten Hag will get the sack. And the reason why I think Erik ten Hag will get the sack, United haven't been playing good lately. They just lost to Bayern Munich whilst recording this, to Tottenham. They're just about to be Forest. They lost to Brighton. I think they will lose against all the bigger clubs, and then the United ball, the Glazers wouldn't like that. Mendes will get angry, Rashford won't perform, and they're just going to go downhill. And Reguilon, a Tottenham player, would be their best player. So in 4th, talking about Tottenham with Reguilon, I got Tottenham. Ange Ball. I'm loving Big Ange instead. As you can tell, I'm a Tottenham fan. The reason why I think Tottenham are in 4th instead of like 3rd, 2nd or 1st is because I think they will still lose against like your Arsenals, your Liverpools, your Cities, as they don't have a good enough squad, and if one of our defenders get injured, we're screwed. So in 3rd, I got Arsenal Football Club. Another team who I despise, just like West Ham. The reason why I put Arsenal in 3rd is because they always find a way to win matches. Wolves, Everton, they've always just scraping it by like 1 goal. Signed so many players. Declan Rice. I don't want to say this, but I think Arsenal will have a good season and do well in the Champions League. I think they will get semi-finals in the Champions League, even though I hope touch wood happen. So, the big 2 teams. Who do I have in second? Who do I have in first? Liverpool Football Club in second. So Liverpool will come second, and Man City will win 4 leagues in a row, what is unheard of, and this is why. Liverpool Club have looked so good so far, and they're winning comfortably. 1-0 down to Wolves. They got back and played well, and the thing is, they have a good team as well. Like Salah's performing. They have Nunes, who actually can score now. You've got Jota, Diaz, and then you've got their midfielders as well. Who is their midfielders right now? You've got Thiago. Who else? I think I'm regretting picking Liverpool in second, to be fair. But hey ho. But they're just getting the results done, and Liverpool's Liverpool. So now in first place, yeah, anyone who watches football would say is first, is Manchester City. The reason why I got Manchester City in first is because Pep Guardiola has Haaland. Haaland's going to score 40 goals this season. They're going to do well in the Champions League, and it's not going to bother them. So you've got De Bruyne, who's injured, but you've still got Foden, Doku, Grealish when he comes back, Bernardo Silva. The team is stacked. That's what happens. That's what money buys you. Money may not buy you happiness, but it 100% buys you trophies. And that's the reason why I think City will win the league, because their team's stacked, and they have Ederson, Stefan Ortega, who are good too. So yeah, that is my Premier League predictions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, goodbye.